G'day, everybody. How are we this Saturday afternoon? My lunch is cooking and I am hoping to keep it down. Anyway, I just thought I'd just come on here and check in and see how everybody is doing and see if anybody is up for a chat. And yeah, shoot the breeze for a little while and see what's been happening in everybody's neck of the woods because, as you know, having a YouTube channel, when you have a YouTube channel, and even if you don't, you have friends from all over the world. So I thought I'd come on here today and just touch base with everybody. Like I said, see how everybody's going, see if anybody wants to chat about anything. And if nobody does, then that is completely fine. I am not fussed either way. But yeah, haven't got much to talk about with my life apart from the fact that I've been as sick as a dog lately. I came good for a little while and now I'm back feeling like absolute shit. I don't feel like doing it live, but I wanted to touch base with everybody and see if everybody's okay. I keep saying that. I don't know why I keep repeating myself, but still. Today's live is going to be just about what you guys want to talk about. As usual, I don't have a topic in mind. It's open discussion for anybody who wants to join me on panel and have a chat. I am not fussed to put out what, as long as it's not rude or pervy or gross. Hello to that one person who is in the background listening. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your support. While you're not saying anything, that's all good. You don't feel like you have to. I've noticed lately that there's a lot of bad shit going on in the world, and it's good sometimes just to, hey Donnie, how you doing? I just thought that, it'd be nice to have a place where people can come here and have a laugh, have a joke, share some thoughts about what they think of what's going on in the world these days. It's just really fucking sad. There's a lot of shootings going on where it breaks my heart to know that innocent people are losing their lives because of someone having a grudge or something along those lines. There's no point to it. Like if you've got a problem with someone, speak to them. Don't kill them thinking that, oh, if someone annoys me, oh, that's all right, I'll just, grab my dad's gun, go out and shoot them. What's the fucking point? You ruin your own life and you ruin their lives and you ruin the lives of other people that know you and people that knew the person you've killed. I've never understood the mind of a killer. Never. And it's amazing how when I listen to stories about how there are people out there who go, oh, well, I had a bad childhood and, I didn't feel my mother's love as a child, or I didn't feel like I was appreciated and all that sort of shit. Well, you want to know something, mate? I felt all those things and I've never, ever thought about, physically hurting somebody because, like I said before, it screws up your life. It screws up the people you care about's lives. It doesn't just, you think by ending one person's life, your problem is going to be solved. Well, it's not, because your life is going to be forever changed, and the people's lives that know you, their lives are never going to be the same. It just doesn't make sense how people think that if they've got a problem, the way to do it is just to get rid of someone. Like there were these teenage girls who became friends, and there was this one of the girls who was friends with the girl they killed since they were kids, and she spent a lot of time over at her house, and then she became entangled with another woman, well, another girl they went to school with. They started excluding her, and before they knew it, they were planning to kill this girl because their response was they didn't like her. Now, if you don't like someone, stop being friends with them. It's simple as that. Like, don't go ending their lives because you don't like them anymore. If you don't like somebody, walk away and don't look back. Don't go ending someone's life because you don't like them anymore. Why? You're going to end their lives because you don't want to see them moving on without you as part of their lives? That just doesn't make a speck of sense. And these girls, yeah, I don't get it. Like, I've got a lot of people that I'm not fans of. That doesn't mean I'm going to go out and physically do something to hurt them. I've hurt people by my words. Yes, I agree to that 110%. But I'm not going to go out and excuse me, stab someone or shoot someone or run someone over with my car. I don't drive. But if I did, I wouldn't run someone over with my car. I don't think I could ever do that because at the end of the day, as I keep saying, you're going to be destroying your own life and their life and everybody around them that loves them. You've affected their lives. Everybody that loved you, you've affected theirs. It's just sad. Like, it makes me wonder if Chris Watts was in fact involved in the case of the, killing his family. What made him go to that extreme? Like, yeah, you'd have maintenance to pay for your children and all that sort of stuff, and you'd have to pay spousal support or whatever it is. I don't know what it's called in the States, so apologies if I've got it wrong. Um, you know, so be it. But you should have given Shanann, Bella, and Cece and Nico a chance to have a life without you, Chris, instead of you having to sit in an 8x4, whatever it is, jail cell for 23 hours a day. That's if that's what's happening. I don't know how the justice system works in Wisconsin, so I don't know how much time he is actually out of his cell for. So I apologise for not having those facts before I made that statement. I do apologise, but in most prison situations, you're only given like an hour of outside your cell, and that's pretty sad considering the fact that you could have had the independence to go to movies, go to concerts, go to get food that you wanted to eat, go for drives if you just wanted to go for a leisurely drive. You can't even do any of those things anymore, because you've any murderer out there who's now facing jail, you've ruined your whole fucking life, and that's on you. That's not on the person that you decided that, oh, I don't want this person in my life anymore, so therefore I'm going to cut them out of my life. And people are saying that Chris did it for love. Like, well, you didn't do it for love because there was a time you loved Shanann more than anything else in this world, and you took her life if you are in fact involved in it. Because there's a lot of people speculating that, he had help. Obviously, we've had that from the beginning. And now there's people saying that he might not have even done it. So who knows? The thing, they put Chris on a lie detector test the day after, a few days after and stuff, and he was still pretty shook up, so his nerves would have been all over the place. But I'd love to see if they put him on a lie detector test now and asked him the exact same questions, would they still get the same answers? And lie detector tests aren't reliable under any circumstances. They're not reliable, but you see, they make good comedy when you're on a TV show and they do a lie detector test. In relation to you cheating on Isabel, did you cheat on her while you were together? You said no. Well, the lie detector test proved that was a lie. That offers a little bit of comic relief, but when it's somebody's life, whether they're going to be the rest of their life in jail or they're going to be the rest of their life as a free person, those lie detector tests, it's amazing how much they rely on them, eh? Like, what other proof did they have? There were garbage bags found at the site, and neither Chris's or Shanann's fingerprints were found on those bags, but yet the bags matched the garbage bags that were found at the Watts home. So how is it that their fingerprints weren't on them? How is it that the gloves that were found at the house weren't taken in as evidence or tested? How is it that when they first went in and did a welfare check, mind you, I'm actually surprised. Sorry, I'm going to talk a little bit about Chris Watts because this is a case I'm actually somewhat passionate about and I know a lot about. How is it that when they went into that house, whether it was a welfare check or not, and I keep saying this, I've said this on numerous channels, where the fuck were their gloves? Hello to that other person who's listening in the background. I'm not sure who you are. I know Donnie's hopefully still in here, but yeah, where were the gloves? As they were trying to open doors, as they were trying to supposedly open windows, where are your fucking gloves? There was a person that had not heard, a family member said that she hadn't heard from her daughter or her sister or something for a few days or a few hours or whatever it was. And they actually, not necessarily, no, they didn't actually like kick the door in, but they broke the door down. Because they said that, it was they were worried about her because she wasn't responding to phone calls or texts. How come they never did that with Chris Watts' home? How come they never did that? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that they weren't somewhere in the house? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that they weren't somewhere in the house? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that they weren't somewhere in the house? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that they weren't somewhere in the house? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that they weren't somewhere in the house? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that they weren't somewhere in the house? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that they weren't somewhere in the house? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that they weren't somewhere in the house? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that they weren't somewhere in the house? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that they weren't somewhere in the house? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that they weren't somewhere in the house? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that they weren't somewhere in the house? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that they weren't somewhere in the house? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that they weren't somewhere in the house? And how did Nicole Atkinson know that How do they know that the kids weren't, even though they said they're going to a play date? How do we know that Shanann didn't, how did Nicole Atkinson know that she wasn't home? What? Because the shoes she wore, as she put it, every single day were by the door. But when they walked in, I don't know about any of you, but I didn't see the shoes there at all. But yet Nicole Atkinson claims that she saw them near the door. Yet when they looked through the door, that side window, and looked in, we didn't see the shoes there. Well, I didn't anyway. It just makes absolutely no sense why people kill, why people think it's their duty to cause physical harm to another person. I don't understand it. Like, I argue with my mum and my brother like there's no tomorrow. And I'm not going to deny that. I argue with them like crazy. But I would never, ever do anything to lay a hand on them to physically hurt them. You know, there's things that they do on a day-to-day basis that absolutely shit me to tears. And there's no way to sugarcoat that. They do. They shit me to tears. But I love them to bits. And there's nothing in this world I would do to hurt them. And there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do for them. Like, I'll protect them as much as I possibly can. But it's like, you know, where does it, do you think jail is the best place? This is a question to chat if people want to put any participation into this. You know, what does jail honestly do to someone who has hurt a child or killed a person or completely screwed up that person's life? You know, you hear about these people who beat their children. Do you honestly think that jail's going to be a place to reform them? I personally don't think it is, because I'm not saying leave them out on the streets. I would never say that. But the thing is, though, in jail, you think about it, you've got a bed to sleep in, regardless of how uncomfortable it is. You've still got a blanket and a pillow to put your head down at night. You still get 3 meals, as far as I'm aware, 3 meals a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You get that provided for you. You get medical. You get everything you could possibly want in jail, but for free of charge. Whereas if you're out in the streets and all that sort of shit, you need to go see a doctor in America, you've got to pay for it. You're in jail in America and you've got to see a doctor, guess what? You don't pay fuck all. And I just think it's really fucking sad how putting someone in prison isn't necessarily punishing it. Like I said, I might be way off saying this stuff, and if I am, my apologies. But I just think that they need to think of other ways to punish people when they do a crime. You need to be held accountable. You need to not be thrown in jail and then basically given a bed to sleep in at night and access to a gym, access to computers, access to stuff that in the reality of the world, you would have that taken away from you. When you're in jail, you shouldn't be able to access TV. You shouldn't be able to access the internet. You shouldn't be able to, you know, you shouldn't be given, regardless of anything. Like the Chris Watts interview he was given after he was imprisoned, he said that he had macaroni and cheese for lunch. Now, I'm not saying that's a 5-star meal, guys. I'm not. But why should they be given even that? I think personally that if you're in jail for a crime, you should be given stale bread and water. Probably not even that. Give stale bread to the ducks, even though they say don't give bread to ducks, but still. I don't understand how some people can do that, and then there's other people who do commit crimes that get away with it. How is that even... I don't understand it. I don't understand how people can say take the life away from a child, or take a mother away from a child, or a father away from a child, or anything like that. I don't understand how there are people out there that think it's okay to hurt an elderly person. You know, like, it's just, it makes me actually really, really emotional to know that there are people out there who get satisfaction out of hurting a child, an elderly person, or hurting anybody. I don't understand how there are people out there in this world that, you know, are driven to evil, as they say. You know, like Ivan Milat, you know, he, for those who don't know, he is a serial killer who went on a killing spree of killing backpackers here in Australia along the Hume Highway in Sydney. I'll be touching on that in a couple of months or a couple of weeks, depending on how it goes. You know, he went and he killed all these backpackers. He went to jail. and he died in jail from cancer. But in the meantime, while he was in jail, you ready for this, guys? He was suffering from cancer and he was getting chemotherapy. I know that he was obviously, for whatever reason, he was given that choice. There are people out there that are good Samaritans, do good for the world, and they struggle to pay for chemotherapy. But meanwhile, there's people in jail who commit horrific fucking crimes and they're getting medical assistance at no charge. Ivan Milat was getting chemotherapy when he had killed over 5 people. He took their lives for no apparent reason, just took them into the Belangolo forest and bang, or stabbed them. Sorry, trigger. I don't understand how people like that can get away with it and actually still, well, Ivan Milat can't because he's died of cancer. But the thing is, though, if he was dying of cancer, I would have let the fucker die. Let him die of a slow, painful death. And I know that sounds disrespectful to the Milat family, and not in a million years would they ever tune into my little channel compared to what they could listen to. But I don't understand how they can say that they were okay with knowing that their brother, their son, whatever, killed these people, and then he was given potentially something that was going to help him live longer. Let the fucker die. And then his nephew, Matthew, went and killed one person in the Belangolo forest on that guy's birthday. And again, I don't understand how people think that's okay. I don't know. I think he's due for release next year or the year after. I'm not sure. But yeah, it just breaks my heart that there are people out there, like I said, that are good Samaritans, and they basically get the rough end of the stick by saying basically, if you can't afford chemo, bad luck. And that happens in the States because, over here, I don't know how much chemo is over here, but in America, it would cost thousands and thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, there are people in jail who are criminals who end the lives of men and women and children, and they are in jail. And I don't know how they go about it, but over here, if like Ivan Milat, like I said, he killed over 5 people, and he was given chemotherapy to prolong his life while he spent the rest of his life in jail. For me, it makes absolutely fucking no sense. If you're getting bullied online, or you're getting someone bullying you, harassing you, over here the cops do absolutely fuck all to help you. If someone is cyberbullying you, they do nothing about it. But yet the moment someone is killed because they either unlife themselves, I'm sorry if this upsets anybody with what I'm saying, but if they choose to end their life because they can't handle the bullying anymore, that's when the cop goes, oh, it's time for reform. Well, here's an idea. How about taking people's complaints when they come to you and say, hey, I'm being bullied, I need help here. Instead of turning them away, how about actually, pulling the fucking your baton out of your ass, cops, okay, policemen and women. How about you pull out that stick out of your ass and you actually start helping people when they come to you about a complaint? Don't let it get to the stage where people are, sorry for anyone that this triggers, but don't wait for someone to kill themselves, or don't wait for somebody to be killed by people that are being bullied online before you do something. Don't stand in front of a TV camera crew and say something needs to be done about this, when you yourselves had the power to actually change the laws. You can change it if you wanted to, but you won't. You're so busy sending people away that it's actually heartbreaking that you're doing that. People need help. Help them before it gets to the point where they're going on a murderous rampage or a murder spree or whatever, or breaking into elderly people's homes and sexually assaulting elderly people. Like, they have a right to live out their golden years the best way they can and not live in fear. Do something to fucking help the elderly. Do something to, instead of teaching kids how to play bloody T-ball, for example. Instead of doing that, how about teaching kids in schools how to do self-defense from a young age? So that way, if anyone does try and hurt them, so to speak, or grab them and stuff. They know how to defend themselves. How about bringing that into the school curriculum? But we all, far out. I'm not getting anyone in here today. This is fucked. But no, I just think that the whole justice system and the whole educational system and everything like that needs to be reassessed and fixed and fast, because too many people are dying, too many people are killing, and too many people are planning to, blow up buildings and fucking, all that sort of shit, because there's no help out there for them until it's too late. And I think it's very fucking sad. But that's just my opinions. I was bullied as a kid. I was bullied all the way through primary school, from the moment I started to the moment I graduated. I only had a very few friends, and the very few friends I have, I don't have anymore. And I don't even know if I could call them a friend. I don't know, because of the fact that I think they were friends with me because they pitied me, or they felt sorry for me, or whatever the situation may be. It was horrible. My childhood was fucked. I was bullied at school, not really acknowledged much in home life, and not much in my teenage years until I met my first serious boyfriend, and that all went well until it wasn't. And then, I look at my life now, and I'm thankful to every person I've met since, as in like spoken to, since having a YouTube channel. It's actually helped me realize the fact that I don't need to be, Miss Popular. I don't need to have, over 100 people in my chat at one go. I don't even need to have one person in here. I can still ramble on incoherently. It's all good. But you know what I mean? It's just, they always, like I said before, they say that when you've had a bad childhood, it can lead to all sorts of criminal activity. Well, okay, let's get this right. My dad had a drinking problem when I was very, very young, and my mum didn't have a drinking problem, but she stayed with him, and I understand why, because when you love someone, you stay with them, but still, she stayed, so I had to endure more bullshit as a kid. And then as I started school, it was horrible, because like I said before, I was picked on as a young child. I was always called smelly and all that sort of crap. And my upbringing was fucking horrible. I didn't have a voice like I have now with YouTube. I can have a voice. I can say what I'm thinking. Getting called names from my older brother or my older sister or anything like that, getting compared to them and all that kind of crap. It was fucking horrible. But the thing is, though, I learned from that. I learned that I was never going to be that person that made someone else feel like shit about who they were. There's no point to it. And I look back on it and thinking to myself that those kids who picked on me without even realizing it, they were actually committing a crime. And it's really fucking sad that nothing was done about it, and nothing was ever resolved about it. Like, if I wanted to see a counsellor, it only had to be about like how I was having difficulty in classes or anything like that. I couldn't talk about how I was having difficulty with any of the other kids. And if I went to the principal about it, the principal would do absolutely fuck all about it. She would go, "Oh, go speak to the go speak to the principal." Should go speak to the counsellors. And then when I'd talk about it to the counsellors, the counsellor would be like, "Well, go talk to the principal." So it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and none of them listened to me. There was a teacher that made my life a living hell, and they still did nothing about it. And their response, when I had some of the popular girls vouch for how that teacher treated me, they turned to me after they walked out of the room, after they gave their statements and stuff. They had the audacity to turn around to me and say, "How much did you pay them to stand up for you?" Not realizing the fact that I didn't even have money to rub 20 cents together when I was in high school. All right. So nothing much has changed. I still don't have 20 cents to rub together. But what I'm saying is the fact that it would hurt me because they thought that I was paying kids to have my back. And that's why they did nothing, because they thought it was all bullshit, so to speak. And my childhood grew into adulthood, and adulthood grew into what I am now, which is 40 years old, and it's really fucking sad. But the thing is, though, I look at it all and I'm thinking to myself, each and every one of those kids that picked on me, they probably have successful careers now. Good on them. Congratulations. You have a life. But the thing that upsets me, though, there was this one girl, I'm not going to mention her name because, I'm not that kind of person, but she was a horrible, horrible, horrible person. Anytime I wanted to volunteer for something to do with the school, she would, and because her family came from money, she got to do those things. I never got to experience anything like that. Like we had these things called student leaders. She didn't want to do it, but then the second she saw it, she goes, "Oh, I'm not going to be doing it. I'm not going to be doing it." And then I said, "Oh, well, I am." And then she goes, "Oh, well, then again." And what do you know? She got voted in. And the thing that upset me, though, is the fact that the teachers didn't see her narcissistic behavior that we call today. Back then, I don't think there's always been narcissists around, but I don't think that they had the name for it when I was in primary school. I didn't even know what it was. But it's amazing how regardless of anything, though, I self-taught myself this, that no matter what you do in life, there's always going to be someone that is going to try and bring you down. There's always going to be someone that is going to try and make you feel less than what you think of yourself. Like, I don't have a very high opinion of myself. I don't. So therefore, if someone is going to try and bring me down to make me feel like shit about myself, they're going to have to dig really, 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 really deep to do that. Because I already have a very low opinion of myself. There's not much about me that I can honestly say that I like. And it upsets me that I don't, have the support of people. I don't have the support of family that some people do have. And I think that's great, the people that do. But sometimes it's just like hitting my head against a wall constantly. And it sucks because, like I said, bullying doesn't need to be something that, if you're a bully, you stand back and go, "Oh, well, I made her cry. Score." It should never, ever, 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 ever be that way. If you think by picking on someone and hurting someone's feelings is a way to make yourself feel good, if you think by stopping someone from having a life, like if you live with someone and that person stops you from leaving the house because they think that you're cheating or they think that you're doing something you shouldn't, you're doing drugs or you're fucking robbing banks and all that sort of shit. Just think of it this way. That's their insecurities. Don't let that stop you from having the life that you had before they moved in or before you moved in with them or before you became involved with them. Don't let anyone stop you from living your life the way you've always lived it just because you have someone new in your life. Don't throw away the people that have always tried to be there for you. Don't try to act like a hero by saying, "Oh, I would like to do this, I would like to do that, but I can't." And this goes out to everybody out there, you can do absolutely anything if you believe you can. I never thought I would have a YouTube channel, and look at me, nearly 2 years later, and I have one. I do not let anybody tell me that I can't do something anymore. Like, people say to me, "Oh, you can't do this, Tammy, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that." You know what? When they say I can't do something, that makes me want to push myself just that little bit further to think ahead of them, to think that I can. Because like I said, I don't have a high opinion of myself. I don't. I don't think that I'm anything that fantastic to talk to, but I have two people that want to talk to me daily, and that is Foxy Lady and Elizabeth Anderson. They want to talk to me every day. Fuck knows what goes through their head when they want to, but they do. And I love those ladies to bits. And it comes down to the fact that there are people, like I said, there is always going to be someone out there that is going to make you look like a fucking idiot to other people. But at the end of the day, how you look at yourself in the mirror every day, if you do, I don't, because I don't like who I look at. But if you can look at yourself in the mirror for longer than 5 seconds or even longer than 2 seconds, you're doing better than me. I actually got rid of my full-length mirror actually broke, which really upset me because I loved that fucking mirror. But the long story short of things, though, it was a blessing because I didn't like walking past that fucking mirror and seeing every fucking bulge and every, like, flabby part of my body when I'd walk past it. So when it broke, it was a blessing. But I want to try my hardest to try and get another one. I've seen another one in a shop I want to get, but way out of my price range as usual. But no, it comes down to there are things out there that, like, people in general, and I'm not saying this to sound disrespectful to anyone, people sometimes wear makeup because They see it as that it makes them feel good about themselves. I don't wear makeup, therefore I don't need to put on a mask to show that this is what I'm not. And that's just my opinion. Like, I'll wear eyeliner, I wear eyeshadow and mascara, and lip gloss. And lipstick if I have to. But that's as far as I go for makeup. Like, I won't wear the foundation and the powder and the fucking all that crap, because I want people to see me for who I am. I don't show myself on camera because I sometimes have difficulty reading chat, and I don't think it's fair for you all to see my forehead, and that's all you'll see, because I'll be looking down all the time, and that's not a good look. But like I said, there are people out there who absolutely hate my guts. And quite frankly, I don't care anymore. Hate me, like me, love me, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Because as the way I see it, as that the only person's opinion of myself that matters is my own. And, it took me a very, very, very long time to actually learn that. You can't, listen to that little voice inside of you that says, keep pushing, or as Dora from Finding Nemo says, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. I can't swim. So I say, just keep walking, just keep walking. So that's just my philosophy, like, don't let it get to the point where you think you're going to hurt somebody else in order to make yourself feel good. Because if that happens, then you're already lost. You already lost the race before you even start. If you think picking up a knife and plunging that into somebody is going to make you feel good about yourself, buy yourself a fucking punching bag. Buy yourself a pillowcase that you don't, or use a pillowcase you don't use anymore. Fill it up with stuff and then hang it from somewhere. And then every time you feel like that, go stab that. Don't go inflicting that pain on someone else, because you're not only ending their lives, you're destroying the lives of those people that loved that person, and you're destroying your life and everybody around you that loves you, because there's no happy ending in that. You might feel a little bit happy for what you've done. You might feel great about it. But when time starts sinking in, you're going to feel like shit. And I don't think that should be a way to look at life. I think you should look at life as though it's an amazing gift you've been given. Just do your best with it, I don't think anyone's coming in here. Is there anyone? There says one person's here, but I don't know who that person is. Who is that, please? Let me know who you are if you can, please. If not, it's all good. But like I said, there are a lot of people out there that are in jail, facing jail forever, but they still get the luxuries when you think about it. It's just sad. Ooh. I don't know. I just get, what I mean. I'm sorry. I'm just at a loss as to why people think it's okay to do what they do. Like, when there's people on, like, when they're on their channels and stuff, they talk about people being bullies and stuff, and they themselves are being, okay, that one person disappeared. Okay, bye. Like, how people can sit on their channels, whether they have 100 people in chat or even just 20. I don't understand how people can think it's okay to be a bully about other creators, but yet they're being a bully by saying this person's being a bully and this is what I think of them. Like, I've got a few channels out there that I think people that run them are arrogant assholes. I'm not going to mention their names, because that's my personal opinion, and my personal opinion shouldn't impact what other people in this chat, or either you're watching this live or you're watching it on replay or whatever. I'm not going to allow my opinion to become your opinion, and then you can say, oh, but Tammy from True Crime said that you're an asshole and I think you're a great person. That doesn't not only put me in the firing line of being attacked, but that also, as in verbally attacked or verbally abused or talked about in such a bad way. Like, I honestly don't care what people think of me anymore. It used to affect me, but then I realized, if I allowed every single person out there who has a negative thing to say about me or anything like that affect me, I would never get out of bed in the morning. There are some mornings I don't, mind you, because it's too cold or I'm just too lazy. Take your pick. But like I said, it's funny though, because it's like I can't control what people think of other people. I can only control what I think of me, and that's at the best of times that's very, very difficult to do. Like when I'm on like I go on TikTok, I have an account, but I don't post videos or anything like that. And when people go, "Oh, you're so adorable," you know, I want to send you money, and I'm like, "Why? You don't even know me." And they're like, "Oh, but I want to," you know. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, I say straight away, here's my PayPal link." And it sounds, and I said, "Oh, if you lose that and you can't click onto that while I'm typing it to you, you can go onto my YouTube channel and you can find the link in my description, or you can find the link in any of my lives. When I go live, my link is there." And people are like, "Oh, no, 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 I want to put it into your bank account." And I'm like, "Oh, hell fucking no. No fucking way, Jose." And they're like, "Oh, well, then I'm not sending any." I'm like, I really don't care. Anytime someone wants to give me money, they get my PayPal link. And I know that probably makes me sound like a horrible person, but that's me protecting me. You know, why would I give some random stranger my banking details and go, "Oh, here you go. I don't know who you are from Jack down the road, but hey, here's my banking details. Please, please, please take my banking details. I really appreciate that. Thanks." No, I would never give out. I've only given my banking details to one person on here when they said they were going to do put some money into my account so I could get my medication. They didn't end up doing that, and then someone asked for my banking information again, and I didn't give it to them and all that sort of shit. And then another time when I wanted to buy something from eBay, I had to put in my banking details. At that time, I was very hesitant about it, but I did it anyway. And then my thing didn't come through when I went back to see it. Apparently, the account was removed. So I actually spoke to my bank and said, "Look, I need to change my banking details. Excuse me, I need to change my banking details because I believe that I bought something off eBay. It hasn't come to me. It's been over a month, and I think that they have my card details for the wrong reasons, and they allowed me to change my banking details." So I was very, very fortunate with that. But since then, I'm very, very iffy about who I give my banking information to. And so if anyone's saying, "Oh, I want to send you money," PayPal. That's the only way I'll accept any money from anybody. I'm not about to send my address to anybody because regardless of anything, I am a very private person, even though it might not seem like it at the best of times. And it's just the way I am. But yeah. All right, no one's coming in here, and I've been live now for just over half an hour. But like I said, I'll probably pop back later tonight, see how we go. Unless people start coming in, I am going to be ending this live, and I most probably won't post this one. So we'll see how we go. We'll give it another few minutes, and then I'm going to end it. End the live, that is. Not end anything else. Oh, you know what, guys? I'm going to end this live. All right. So for that one person who's stuck around, thank you. Take care of yourself. And until next time, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Bye.